This right here is the scale 118 Sunstar Ford Escort RS 1600i. It's like a 1980s, I think. This is a request video for a Sunstar. This is the only Sunstar I have access to. This isn't really mine. I'm just borrowing it for this time. But it's a real nice example of what Sunstar quality is like. And I will say that this is a pretty interesting model for the reasons that it has outstanding details in some aspects of it, but the build quality is pretty bad, and I'm going to show you why. But you can kind of judge on your own just to see whether you think it's the good outweighs the bad, or the bad might outweigh the good and you might not want it. So this car costs $40. I believe it also comes in a black, as well as this white, still being sold, so you still can't find it. So it is pretty expensive, but if you go throughout the car and you look at the details, you can kind of justify it for yourself. I mean, you can see on this Ford logo, very, very nice kind of chrome outlining for the letters on the outside. It looks outstandingly realistic, probably the best Ford logo I've seen on a model. Headlights, same thing, the bulb in the middle, no peg whatsoever. Front grille looks really nice. License plate was added after the fact. RS 1600, very, very fine. This is not a sticker. It's actually painted on there. Same thing with this. So it looks really, really good. It's kind of the story of the entire car. You can see that it even has a keyhole in that area. Continuing with more decals. There's another one of those Ford logos. Nice taillight. And they even put a little RS logo on the center wheel. Also, along with quality, this does have steering wheels and full suspension. On the interior, first, I do want to notice before I want to mention, this door doesn't close very flush. And I'm actually going to mention about the door in a second. They're not very good. Carpeting, which is really nice to see. I guess this is considered a budget model, sort of. You know, $40, $45, sometimes even up to $50. Not really, but still, it's within the price range, so it's okay. Gauges behind the steering wheel look pretty good. Buttons on the radio, not colored in, but they are there, so not a bad interior. 80s interiors were kind of boring anyway. Let's see, interesting pattern on the seat. It's kind of rubber, so it feels kind of good. And not a bad door. Alright. So now that I've went through the good, I'm sorry, but I'm going to end this video on a sour note, because this car has some serious issues that I'm going to point out now. So this is not a serious issue, but I do want to mention it before I forget it. Nice windshield wipers, they look realistic, very, very fine detail on the interior, but they can easily be popped up, so you have to be very, very careful. Same thing with the engine, also looks really good. And you can see it even has real rubber for the wires. Very, very nice. And then it all goes downhill. When you look at the paint quality, it's going to be hard to see in the camera, but because this is HD, it should be not bad. You can see that there's lots of bubbles around the car, and if you look at it in certain light, it almost looks like it was hand painted with a brush, and that should not look like that's the case. It's just not very well done at all. You can see, like, it almost looks like it dripped in this area. Not good at all. More, you know, paint imperfections throughout. Little spot right there. This had a bunch of little black marks on it when it was bought, but that was taken off with alcohol, so that was okay. More there. Just paint imperfections essentially all throughout the car. At first I thought, well, this must be used, or the person who owns it, I'm actually borrowing this one, thought that it was used, and I don't know, it probably was, because I had a lot of issues when it came out of the box that it shouldn't have had. Along more for quality issues, these windowsills almost feel like that they're going to pop in. Just not very well done. Same thing with these. It just feels very, very fragile because the entire car is fragile. The door here actually broke off. And the thing about Sunstar doors, they are extremely difficult to put back on. I mean, me and my brother who owns this car, we spent hours trying to figure out how to get this door back on. And eventually, through much trial and error, we used epoxy to kind of hold a paper clip in place, which acted as an axle for the door to rotate on. Not a very good system, but now the door actually opens, and if it ever breaks on you, it's going to be really difficult to fix, I promise you. So, I mean, you can see here that the door just doesn't close very well anymore. It's very loose. I mean, this one naturally didn't close very well. So it was bad to begin with, and I'm afraid to open up this too much because it might break off, for that matter. From this angle, you could see the poor paint quality continuing. I believe this came off once. This is nice. It's nice that they did put that in. Spare tire. You notice that there is no RS logo on there because it comes off very easily. Be very careful about that. And if we go underneath, well, this is weird. It appears that the steering's actually broken on this. Yes, it is. Alright, well, I've just discovered another problem with it. Apparently the steering is extremely weak. Problems really continue. Underbody's good, I mean, as far as detail goes. I will say that. Oh, that's broken too. Yep, that suspension. That one's fine. That one's broken. So, broken parts galore. Door, which is just, it's really annoying. Definitely a very, very delicate model. Typically, yeah, that's most certainly broken. You can see that I can move the wheel just like that. That's not good at all. Really disappointing. For $40, you expect it to be just a little bit more durable. Granted, it has some really nice features, a really nice detail, but I'm not sure if it's worth it when you look at what it has. Alright, so that is the Sunstar. I really do hope that not all Sunstars are like this. However, heeded as a warning that they might be. It's just really, really nice detail throughout the car, and as long as you're extremely gentle with it, there won't be an issue. But the thing is, the owner of this was gentle to the car, and even just by opening the door a few times, it still broke off. So just be very, very careful and kind of pick and choose who you want to touch the model. Alright, so that's all for the Ford Escort RS 1600 by Sunstar. Thanks for watching.